the Leading Edge Cricket Podcast. Or he just works that one off his hips. Yeah, he's running for a single. Or they're coming back for two. Yeah, they've got two. That's his 50. That's his first half century for the Leading Edge Podcast.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Leading Edge Cricket Podcast. Episode 15 is here, and it is a momentous occasion. A quick two into the leg side, and the Leading Edge Cricket Podcast has gone to 50 YouTube subscribers. The bat is in the air, or my hand's in the air. I'm getting clapped from the other end of the wicket. It's a good knock, accelerating well in the past few weeks after playing a rise in. And actually, we've gone past 1,250 views on YouTube, 500 downloads on Apple and Android. And we just want to take this moment to say thank you for the support. And we're about to get a head down and look for the next milestone, which will be 100. And then it'll be another little raise of the bat. I am Rob, one half of the Leading Edge Cricket Podcast, as always joined by my co-host Rich.
Hey Rob, what's going on?
We're good, mate. We're good. We're in celebratory kind of mood. 50's a big achievement.
Oh, I'm happy about that, mate. It's a perfect knock so far. We had a look early. We didn't really make much fuss. We didn't really take any risks. Just took a look, just Dean Elgar-esque. And then, we've got in. We've done what the England batsmen don't do, England top order don't do, and we've had a look and got stuck in, and then just flashed away to 50. Loving it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's good. You could say we probably played and missed a couple of times at the start as well. You know, a couple of decent deliveries in there.
Probably, yeah. We've only had a little bit of barracking from the crowd as well, so we're feeling good. Most of it's been gentle applause. It's almost been like a Tuesday down at Trent Bridge watching county cricket, isn't it? With how polite everyone seems to have been. So we muchly appreciate that.
We definitely do. Now, instead of going straight into the news, I've got something just to throw you off a bit here, Rich.
Balls.
And it's not about your plumbing. It's not about tipping over cars. It's a question. It's a bit of a quiz, and if you know the answer before I let it go, let me know in the comments below. Who is the only batsman to hit a six off the first ball of a test match? And when was it, and who was it against?
Wow.
I'm gonna leave that there, and we'll come back at the end of the episode, and we'll work out who the answer is.
Yeah. Oh, my only two penny for that, I would love it to just be some batsman hopping around and top edging a kind of getting out of the way ball hook. If you know what I mean. I'd love it to have been that, but I've got a feeling I might know who it was.
We'll see.
So
I'm
not going to say.
If you guys know, have a guess in the comment below and let us know if you get it right at the end. There will be no prizes for the winner, other than a little pat on the back and a ripple of applause like you guys have given us. So we'll crack straight into it then. It's the big podcast. It's the world cricket news for the last week since the last time we've spoken to you, Rich. Whereabouts are we going to start today?
Right. Well, the last podcast we did was all about Australia, and we're going to start just with mopping up because we've had a little bit more about the Australia ball tampering. So Warner and Cam Bancroft have both come out with statements so far. And we've also got a bit of news about sponsorship deals, as you can imagine, not in the positive sense. So first off, let's just crack up with that. David Warner, he's put out a little statement today through his social media. He's put, to cricket fans in Australia and all over the world, I am currently on my way to Sydney. Mistakes have been made which have damaged cricket. I apologise for my part and I take responsibility for it. I understand the distress this has caused to the sport and its fans. It's a stain on the game we all love, and I have loved since I was a boy. I need to take a deep breath and spend time with my family, friends, and trusted advisors. You'll hear from me in a few days. So that's Warner. He's, we were all kind of jumping on back of Warner, but obviously one thing we do need to just think about, the three players, they're in turmoil at the moment. They made a huge mistake. But it's not just they're going to miss cricket, that they've lost massive opportunities, not just financial, but also it's the reputational damage as well. So these guys are not going to be in a good headspace at the minute. So they do have my sympathies in that respect. Yeah,
it's a different world these days, isn't it? Social media is almost like it's rolling back 200 years and people are branded and everyone's able to see what someone has done wrong and everyone can throw the two penneth in. So from a mental health point of view, you've got to hope these guys are very well supported by Cricket Australia. What they've done is wrong. We're not saying it's not. It's just there is that bigger picture, and you want the guys to come through it in one piece mentally and be supported.
Yeah, exactly. And I think anyone that's listened to us in the last couple of pods or last couple of times we've talked about it in podcasts, I think it's been pretty clear that we don't appreciate what they've done. So Cam Bancroft, bless him. I've got this on the TV pause, and he looks so sad. He's got his headphones on, walking through, and I don't know if this is the picture of him leaving South Africa, or if it was just another time. But he looks so sad, bless him. So Cameron Bancroft, he said, "I want to say that I'm very sorry. I'm very disappointed and I regret my actions. It is something I will regret for the rest of my life. All I can do is ask for forgiveness. I will do my best to contribute to the community. I lied about the sandpaper. I panicked in that situation and I'm very sorry. I feel like I've let everyone down in Australia. The thing that breaks my heart the most is that I've given up my spot in the team for free. People know I worked so hard to get to this point in my career, and to have given up that chance for free is devastating. It's going to be a really long road, particularly for myself, to earn that respect back. But for me, that's the most important thing." So I quite like what Bancroft said. Again, he used the word contrite last night. I think, he's really, really apologetic. He understands the severity of it, I think. Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? I think we've gone through the charges, we've gone through the bans, we agree, we said why we did, we said what's gone on, what's wrong, and it is now, we're trying to move on from it. Smith, we've not heard anything from Smithy yet, so we don't really know what he's going to be saying. I'm sure Steve Smith will put something out in due course. Fallout from it as well. Magellan, is it? The wealth management company, Magellan?
Yep.
They have pulled out their sponsorship of Cricket Australia. They had a 3-year sponsorship deal, and they're only into it a year into it. So they sponsor the actual Test match series, don't like the Ashes was Magellan Ashes, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So they've pulled out straight away, just saying it's so inconsistent with our values that we were left with no option but to terminate the ongoing partnership with Cricket Australia. Qantas will continue to leave the logo on the shirts, but their CEO basically said they're very disappointed, obviously. Steve Smith, he's lost his sponsorship deal with Weet-Bix, not Weetabix, like any normal country would call it, but there's his Weet-Bix with their crazy squared edges. And also Sanitarium have dropped Smith. Not surprising. Warner and Bancroft have both been dropped from ASICS, the kit manufacturer. And LG has already kicked Warner to the curb as well, so there's probably going to be a few more before this is all done.
Yeah, like we said the other day, like in terms monetization for Warner on a year out of cricket is probably going to be about 6 million, which is a hell of a lot of money. Yes, he has a lot of money already, but it's where the big question for Warner is going forward. Does he change as a person to be able to go and get a contract and play somewhere else? Part of me thinks the IPL may take him in a year's time. I don't think Cricket Australia would take him or touch him with a barge pole again.
Yeah, totally. The one worrying development, it is a worrying development in some respects, because I just want this to be done and dust. I want people to accept their charges, take their punishments and get on with it and grow as people. But what we've had the Australian Cricketers Association have come out and put a statement out. Basically, in their statement, they've said that it was right for the players' mistakes to be sanctioned, but there were a number of glaring and clear anomalies in the process to date, which causes the ACA, Australian Cricketers Association, to query the severity and proportionality of the proposed sanctions. That suddenly, I've got alarm bells ringing, Rob.
Yeah.
Whoop whoop everywhere.
Yeah.
So what they said, it was that they were as follows. So their concerns were as follows: the grading and sanctions proposed are considerably higher than the ICC's grading and sanctions. No shit. So a 1-match ban and 2 points. Yeah, you reckon it's going to be? I mean, come on. Of course, it was considerably higher. Jesus, guys. The disproportion between the proposed sanctions and those previously handed down in world cricket for changing the condition of the ball, including by captains of international teams applying artificial substances. Right, okay. The activation of Cricket Australia's board as a deliberative body on the proposed sanctions. Don't really get that one so much. The public statements made by Cricket Australia to date have not referenced consideration of contextual factors, including the environment in South Africa during the series and the impacts on the individual players. Boo-hoo. Suck it up. Get on with it. That's pathetic. That's absolutely pathetic comment. That is, considering how many international teams get grief when they go to Australia.
Yeah, exactly.
Another point: the rush to place players before the world's media last Saturday night without the benefit of considered and coherent advice. That was on the players. The players made that decision. International teams these days aren't just 12 players and a coach. They've probably got more backroom staff and advisors, and they've probably got a management team on that, with them touring. So there will be people that were from Cricket Australia and whatnot. I'm sure Smith, in this day and age of mobile phones and communication, he would have quite easily been able to speak to his agent or his advisor very quickly before he made a decision on what to do and what to say. And I'm sure he did. So again, I'm calling kind of crap on that one.
Yeah, I agree.
So anyway, they said they'll continue to provide welfare and legal support to players, which they obviously will do. And they're just saying Smith, Warner and Bangor will have the right to challenge Cricket Australia's verdicts and also the duration of penalties via its Cricket Australia Code of Behaviour hearing with an independent commissioner. It greatly worries me, that does, because I just think that they're going to try to prove their value and get in the way of this and try and we don't want it to be elongated, do we? We don't want this to be stretched out in any way.
No, you just want to draw a line in the sand. Look, they've got punishment. They're going back to their own countries. It's going to take a hell of a lot of work and a hell of a lot of time to get over what they've done in that country and for people to accept them back into cricket again. Let them go through that process. By giving them back into cricket 3 months down the line through going through a messy 3-month process here, whatever it works out as, isn't the best for the people, and it's not best for Cricket Australia to sort out their game. They just need to draw a line in the sand. We've made an example of 3 guys who have pushed the boundaries too far, and we're going to do everything we can to change the culture, the ethos of the team, and rebrand Cricket Australia. That's got to be the goal.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Absolutely. I completely agree. They're obviously just trying to prove, they're doing what they should do, I suppose. They're trying to look out for the players. But it'd be interesting for me if the players have actually spoke to anyone from the ACA yet, or if the ACA have just put this out on their own back, because from what I can see, with the way the players are responding, we haven't heard from Smith so much yet, but you can get a feel what Smith's going to be saying. There is actually a press conference coming up this morning, so we'll if that happens before we finish recording, we will try and get that in here, or at the end of the podcast, should I say. But just, I don't know, it's not helping anybody. It really isn't. So we'll see. Every day we keep saying it. We'll see how this goes. But that's where we are with that. It'd be nice to talk about cricket again soon, because that test match gets underway again tomorrow.
It is. One thing we should touch on while we're there is David Warner, obviously out of the IPL contract, out of being Hyderabad Sunrisers captain. Kane Williamson has been announced as the Hyderabad Sunrisers captain for the IPL 2018. There's no more information than that. It's literally come through in the last hour. But good old Kane Williamson, solid, strong, dependable sort of guy you'd want leading your troops.
Proper Kiwi, mate, isn't he? I mean, we've had Darren Lehman come out in the last 24 hours as well, just saying about he wants to look to how New Zealand play the game. So clearly Sunrisers Hyderabad have also made that decision, going from Aussie to New Zealand. So cracking stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's a question mark why he wasn't captain in the first place, to be honest. Kane Williamson. Yeah,
top guy, top batsman. I think what it is David Warner's more box office, and that comes into the equation in the IPL.
Yeah, absolutely. But anyway, well done, Kane. So right, mate, should we crack on and get some news?
Let's look at some cricketing news. Talk cricket to me.
News. Cricket. Right, county cricket. Worcestershire, they're doing business again. Right, what they've done, they have signed Martin Guptill, Guppo, and Callum Ferguson.
Guppy.
So they've completed. It's a double T20 signing for the Vitality Blast. So what's going to happen? Martin Guptill, he's going to be available for the first 8 games for the New Road side before Callum Ferguson, who's 33 now, comes in to replace him for the remainder. And possibly also a couple of one-day cup matches, depending on how well Worcester do. Travis Head, fellow Aussie, he's going to be the second overseas player for the T20 with either of those guys, and he's also there for the rest of the season for Worcester. Guptill may also be available for 2 championship matches prior to the start of the T20 when Head is scheduled to be on international duty with the touring Aussies. So, Guppo to county cricket. Great news.
Guppo's a great signing. I'm quite excited to see him play. Guppy playing T20, Guppo, Gupstar, T20 or ODIs is special because he's such a great talent at hitting a cricket ball. He's really one of the world's finest, especially at T20 level. But I'm excited to see him play a bit of first-class cricket in England because I still think the Kiwis, I said we almost then, we're missing something on having Guppy batting at 5 or 6 in that order maybe, and it's hard because Harvey Nichols has come in and done so well, but he's such a great batsman. It would be great to see how he does in English conditions.
Amen to that, bro. Right, Leicestershire. They've been really busy. We spoke about them early on with our podcast with some of their signings, but they've had to make a replacement already for the injured Sohail Khan. So Indian quick, Varun Aaron. I love that name. That's a great. It just rolls, doesn't it? Varun Aaron He's agreed to join Leicester for the early part of the captaincy as a replacement for Khan. So Aaron, he's 28. He's going to be available from the 20th of April to 20th of June. Brindya, 18 wickets in 9 tests and 11 in 9 ODI. So pretty decent work there from Paul Nixon and the Leicestershire boys.
Yeah, decent signing. Plenty of experience in the IPL as well. Played for 3 different teams, and he's not a world beater. But he can be quick. Back in his day, he'd rocked up 155 clicks, so he's got a bit about him. And again, I think the county scene is really, really exciting this year. It's just a array of talents that are available for everyone to watch.
You think it's going to be exciting?
I think it's exciting.
You think it's exciting?
I do.
Well, it could be even more exciting. Strong rumours have been bouncing around. We've not talked about this yet because we were waiting. We were just assuming that we would find out where he's going. But we haven't yet. But the talk is that Virat Kohli, everybody's favourite batsman, at the moment, well, it depends which country you're from, I suppose. But as a batsman, let's say, we're not talking about personality, but as a batsman, everybody's current favourite batsman, Virat Kohli. Yeah. He's been really strongly linked with a move over to England for County Championship for the start of the summer, I would assume, because obviously he's got a bit of business to do with in England for India. Nothing certain yet, nothing confirmed, but the talk is that he's going to be Surrey. He's going to be replacing last year's star and everyone's. I just love this man, Kumar Sangakkara.
Yeah.
He's been with Surrey for a little while, hasn't he? So it sounds like he might be the replacement. And I mean, it's perfect. It's London. It's the Oval. Decent batting deck. He can't go wrong, can he? Really?
No, he can't. And you look at Kohli's record. He's an outstanding cricketer, averaging 53 in Test matches, 5100s. But if you just break down his stats and go, how did Virat Kohli go in England all the way back in 2014? Well, Virat Kohli didn't do very well. In fact, he scored 134 runs in 10 innings the last time he toured England, at an average of 13. So he's got a huge blemish on his record that he's obviously looking to try and take control of and right a few wrongs. Because you put him anywhere else in the world, he's great. Averages 55 in Africa, averages 59 in Asia, 63 in New Zealand and Australia. So it's only England where he's had these fails, but it has come with a bit of criticism, hasn't it, Rich?
Yeah, definitely. And don't ever anybody say that we are not a generous nation. I mean, geez, come on. We're about to let the number one player in world cricket, who's about to play some test matches in England against a pretty struggling England test side at the minute. And this guy at the minute has had one series and pretty much crapped the bed, didn't he? For want of a better term. And we're basically saying, come on, open the doors, come and play county cricket. Give yourself a month, 6 weeks or so to get acclimatised, get used to these conditions, a swinging ball, the green tops, and then go and play test cricket and go and average about 70 against England.
Yep.
Generous to a fault.
It is very generous. Bob Willis was very, very outspoken on the statement, basically saying, I can't stand overseas players in county cricket. He should be made to suffer and average 30 in England like he's done before. These are Bob Willis's words. We don't want England starting to lose test matches at home because we're accommodating all these visiting players. Now, the county game is based on having one overseas player per team that's available to play in each game. And that's how it's been for generations.
Yep.
And all the way back in the 70s, 80s, early 90s, the standard of overseas player was through the roof. It was great.
Yep.
And then it teetered off, and now all of a sudden we're seeing more and more quality players coming back into the county game. I know from an England standpoint, it's very hard to get your head around and say we're going to let Kohli come in and have a knock in England for a month before he plays the test matches. To me, as a cricket fan, I kind of think it's great for everyone in that team that's going to play with Kohli or play against Kohli. There's young county players who are going to get the opportunity, who have netted with Kumar Sangakkara for a couple of years. Now they're getting to net with Virat Kohli. It's mind-blowing that level of talent, and hopefully he's a lot better than Ganguly was when he was at Lancashire in terms of providing a service back to the county.
Yeah, totally. I mean, there's different ways of looking at this, isn't there? First off, just as the overall, how can county cricket be a worse place for having Virat Kohli in it? You're going to get the punters in. County cricket doesn't get that many spectators, considering. You're going to get this, in the locker room for wherever he ends up playing. You're going to get him, hopefully, giving back teaching players. You're going to be netting against him. Young bowlers bowling at him. They're going to be learning. Players playing against him. They've got to up the game. County cricket is. I'm not blaming county cricket for England's woes. There's plenty of good players over there. But it makes people step up again, doesn't it, and perform to their highest ability, and also see directly in front of them, where they need to be as a cricketer if they want to be a top international player.
Yeah.
From another side of it, okay, I mean, I don't agree with Bob at all that you shouldn't have overseas players. It raises the standard. Simple as that. Rather than having to face a 70-mile-an-hour trundler who's swinging it round corners, in early season, we should be putting in some proper bowlers and batsmen. I don't know. What, I'm not going to rant down that little road. But just on the Bob thing. I just don't understand it. I genuinely don't. But what I do understand to a point is, why should England necessarily allow overseas players, to come and play as a warm-up a few weeks before a test series starts? I don't think any other country in the world would do that. So I agree generally, but when a team is touring in the summer, I do have a little bit of a question mark over whether that's the right thing for English cricket.
Yeah, it is a difficult one. You're teetering on that balance, aren't you, between what you'd love to see, and would love to see the best players in the world in county cricket, but why? It's obvious why he's coming this year, but should that be the right year? Imagine, I don't know, let's take Alistair Cook. He's a bit out of form before the Ashes. I'm going to go and play some state cricket in Australia, boys. Don't know if he would be welcomed.
Nope, not a chance.
Whereas the English are very accommodating, and Virat Kohli is such a big name. I think it would. My personal opinion, it will be a benefit to county cricket, but it does come with a lot of scepticism of the same season as a test match. I don't think it's a black or white line. It's a very grey line that Surrey are taking on this.
Everybody's going to benefit. If you want to look at it from a positive, everyone's going to benefit. County cricket will. Surrey will, assuming he signs there. Kohli will. India cricket test side will. And do you know what? If England want to be positive about this, it gives you 6 weeks to look at Kohli in English conditions and work out how to get him out.
Yep, true.
So that's how we should be looking at it, rather than that negative from Bob. But hey, good old Bob.
Yeah, good old Bob.
Right. Yeah, right then. Last bit of what I'd say is news. This dropped kind of about a week ago or a few days back. Zimbabwe, they've just been... so basically, Rajan Nair, he's a former Zimbabwe cricket official. He's been banned from all cricket for 20 years.
Wow.
This is a fine. This is a ban.
You're complaining about a year, bro.
Exactly. He's accepted a charge of attempted match fixing. Okay, so basically, in October, Nair offered Zimbabwe captain Graham Creamer $30,000 to fix the result of the two test series between Zimbabwe and West Indies. Creamer told Nair straight away he wasn't interested and immediately reported the approach to coach Heath Streak and Zimbabwe Cricket's anti-corruption manager Robson Manjaro. He advised the ICC anti-corruption unit. So Zimbabwe, first off, brilliant, stand up, take the applause. Yep. You've done it exactly right. This is what should happen. Creamer, basically, he's been quoted saying he was appalled by the approach by someone so closely connected to the game, and that it was important the corrupt to receive strong sanctions as it sends out a message to others who might consider getting involved. So at the time of the incident, it's worth knowing. So we said Nair was a Zimbabwe cricket official. He was the treasurer and marketing director of Harare Metropolitan Cricket Association.
Wow, it's the biggest.
So that's a main, like what we would call a county, isn't it, or a state?
Yep.
So he agreed to the approach Creamer at the request of an Indian man he had previously met to discuss potential sponsorship of the proposed Zimbabwe 2020 league. Dear me. So it's a sad story, and obviously Nair is just part of this. He's a pawn, isn't he? He's not the kingpin of world cricket in trying to fix games and what have you. Obviously, it goes much deeper. But this is really good news. It's a bad news story for cricket in one way, but a really good news story in the fact that it's been caught, bans have been chucked out, and well done for Graham Creamer for how he's handled it.
Yeah, very smart, very mature way of dealing with it. I'm looking at a picture of him, a fairly youngish lad who's got quite a lot of responsibility in a troubled country, trying to make the way back to being a test match playing nation and kind of kick on from there. So great to see. And this is the only way to stamp it out the game, is for people to turn around and go, no, that's wrong. There's no corruption in our game. Sorry, I'm reporting you. And the more and more that happens, the less and less approaches there will be.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it's got to be done. So, right, that pretty much wraps up all the what would just say the general news. And now there's a bit of team news for the upcoming second test tomorrow. Starts tomorrow for New Zealand, England.
Ooh.
Do you want to know about it, Rob?
I do. I'd love to know. What have England gone and done there?
Well, before England, poor old Todd Astle. The fella gets his chances again in Test cricket. He doesn't get a bowl in the first innings because Bolt and Salvi are knocking England over for 58. He gets a ball in the second innings, gets a free-fer, and he's injured. Side strain. He's going to miss the Test. So he's going to be replaced by the informish Sodhi in the 12-man squad. This really surprised me. I know Santner was the man, but this still surprised me. This will be Sodhi's first Test match since September 2016, if he plays.
Yeah,
that's quite a bizarre, isn't it? If he does it, full of confidence though. He took 12 for 62 against Wellington last week in the Plunkett Shield, so he's a man in form. The team has been announced, and Sodhi will play. He's slotted in there at number 8, so he's a decent man at number 8 as well. We can do a job, can't he? So Matt Henry, the man to miss out again. It's as we were. Ravel, Latham, Williamson captain, Taylor, Nichols, Watling the keeper, de Grandhomme, Sodhi, Salvi, Wagner or Wagner, and then Trent Bolt at 11. So a really good, settled looking New Zealand 11.
I think stronger, to be honest. I would have picked Sodhi over Todd Astle, even though Todd Astle performed well. He was very lucky to get Bairstow out. Oh man, Bairstow, long hop city. But he bowled very well in that final session, so great to see Sodhi back in the team. Exciting with him coming to county cricket next year as well. He's going to be playing at Notts, and we're seeing a genuine Test match player playing against England before he comes to county cricket. It's great.
Yeah, he played over for Notts last season as well and looked good. He only played the T20 stuff, white ball stuff. But it'd be nice to see him play in the 4 days. I mean, just more spinners, the better for me. England. Oh, England. Oh, England.
What have we done? We've got a square peg and a round hole. What have we done?
Well, they've named the 12-man squad. So out of their obviously touring party, they've narrowed it down to 12, and they'll obviously make a decision on the morning of the game. So
good start.
The team, as it looks like it's going to go. Well, first off, who's missing out? Missing out is Moeen Ali. He's averaging about 100 with a ball and about 17 with a bat, I think. So if we flip them round, Moeen's world class, but at the moment it's the wrong way around, mate. So he's been dropped, and also Mark Wood's coming in. So Chris Wokes has been dropped. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a strange one, isn't it? But they want the extra pace of Wood. They're trying to vary this attack with a very unvaried squad of attack. So how it looks like it's going to play out is Alistair Cook and Stoneman obviously going to open. Both of them have got pressure on them at the moment. Rob, it's the 26, average 26 time. James Vince coming back in at number 3.
Oh no, it's a classy 50 and then nothing.
Well, if you're lucky, if he gets to mid-20s and gets himself out in the first innings, I might actually lose my shit. So that means Captain Root's dropping back down to number 4. Root just bat free.
Yeah.
Milan drops down to 5. Ben Stokes, who hasn't been bowling in nets, is still in at 6 as it looks at the moment. Bairstow at 7, keeper. Then we're going to go from 11. Anderson and Broad and Wood is going to be 9, 10, 11. So number 8. Is it Overton or is it Leach? Hopefully they go with Jack Leach.
You've got to play a spinner.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's not going to be the batting lineup. I'd imagine it might be Broad at 8, Leach at 9, Wood at 10, James Anderson at 11, or whatever. It doesn't really matter, to be honest. You can perm any. Leach can hold a bat. He's not useless.
Yeah.
But I think they've got to go with Leach. They've got to go with Wood for that extra pace, and I find it would be hard to drop either Broad or Anderson.
Yeah.
The question mark then becomes Stokes, doesn't it? But obviously they're going to go in with him as a batsman if he's not fit to bowl. Yeah,
don't mind seeing Stokes at 6. I think he batted 5 last Test match, didn't he? That was a bit of a stretch. I wouldn't even mind seeing Bairstow move up to 6 and Stokes at 7. I don't care which way around they do it.
Yeah, that's not very cool.
Interesting they've dropped Wokes, though, and gone with Overton. I would have gone the other way around, just because I rate Wokes as a better cricketer and a better component for the team to have that additional batting. But I suppose you're taking all that away because you look at the batting lineup so often that's failed, and it's been covered by the likes of Moeen Ali and Wokes and Bairstow at 7, and the top 6 keep failing. So you're taking away Ali and you're taking away Wokes. it's a longish tale for what England are used to as of late.
It is, but at some point that top 6 or 7 has got to just get on with it and take responsibility. We've seen it in club cricket plenty of times, mate. You rock up some days and you're like, geez, he's going to bat at 11 today. This is one of the best batting lineups we've ever seen. All out for 70.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the days when you turn up with 4 or 5 batsmen, people knuckle down and put a score on, and you're batting 220s, 250s. So, they're going to have to step up. They're going to have to take responsibility. There are a lot of people in that top 6 or top 7s even that need to get a score and need to go on and stop playing the way they have been. Just one day form, Owen Morgan sort of style of just go after it and keep going. We need to have a little bit of Dean Elgar in us at the top. I want to see Cook and Stoneman bat the session. If we can get through to lunch, then I'll be delighted with those boys. Vince needs to go down. If he just flicks one out to first, second slip after he's got himself in, just don't talk to me.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, it looks like it's going to be Leeds, so Overton should miss out, which I think is right. Wokes, I think, has been he's unfortunate, but he's in a team and a squad at the moment with very similar bowlers, so he's not really doing anything different. So I can understand Wood, but Wood, again, we spoke about Wood previously. He's a quick bowler, yeah, that's great, but does he take wickets? Not particularly. So it's all well and good. So will he create pressure at one end to get wickets at the other end? We need to look at it like that as well, don't we? But we will see. The test match is going to start. We're going to do it a daily one again, Rob?
We're going to go daily from tomorrow. So the test match kicks off, I think it's 11 a.m. New Zealand time, so 11 p.m. UK time Thursday, and we'll be dropping the pod in the evening every single time after the test match.
Just a quick one. And I think we'll kind of get the Australia-South Africa 4th test as well. Just a quick comment, because that lines up pretty well, doesn't it?
Lines up perfectly. What are your predictions for the second test?
Oh, I'm going New Zealand, sorry.
Yeah, it's a beautiful weather forecast in New Zealand as well. We're having the back end of summers doing well. We're about 26, 27 degrees every day and bright sunshine. Just saying, bro. I myself, I can't see past a New Zealand win. I think the England batting lineup is too fractured from a long winter, and they need to get into the English summer. They need to regroup, play some county cricket, and work out what that top 6 is going to look like for next year.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Right. Let's get over to Pakistan. Now, in one of our short pods, we did say congratulations Islamabad United, but let's just have a quick wrap up for anybody that missed that one and anyone that's unaware. The Pakistan Super League final in Karachi, it ended with a win for the top-placed Islamabad United. So second PSL title, and they beat last year's winner Peshawar Zalmi in a hard-fought final. This was billed as the Cameron Akmal versus Luke Ronchi final, wasn't it? And Ronchi, man of the match, he won that battle.
Yeah, he did.
So quickly going for it, Peshawar won the toss and decided to have a bat. Things did not go to plan. Akmal, star man, first man out in the third over after scoring 1 off 12 balls. And then Mohammed Hafiz, big name there, he went soon after. Second Samit Patel victim. Samit opened the bowling again, 2 for 26 for Samit. Get in, son. Zalmi finished on 148 for 9, with unlikely top scorers coming from numbers 4 and 5 in Chris Jordan, 36, and Liam Dawson, 33. Yeah, that Chris Jordan and that Liam Dawson batting at 4 and 5. So also Wahab Riaz, I think he was down at 10. He got a late, quick 28 not out. Yeah. So Samit's 2 for Hussain Talat as well. He's played really well this tournament, 2 for 18. And young Leddy should have Leggy? Leggy.
Led.
Easy for me to say. Shadab Khan, he got 3 for 25. Well bowled. So in reply, it was all about Luke Ronchi. He got sticking. Typical swashbuckling knock, 52 off just 26. Opening potter, Sahibadza Fahan 44. They put 96 on for the first wicket, broke the back of the total. Wickets did start to tumble, but it was a late flourish. 26 not out from Asif Ali, including 3 successive sixes at the end that got Islamabad easily over the line with just over 3 overs to spare. So brilliant from Islamabad. And we've talked about it briefly, but what a great tournament this has been. What a great advert for Pakistan cricket, and how brilliant was it to see the eliminators and final played in Pakistan.
Yeah, brilliant. Top of the world for Pakistan, mate. Absolutely thrilled for them that they're able to host cricket again. And it's the closest I've ever been to the PSL, like in terms of just following it. It's actually been a really, really good tournament, and definitely one next year that we'll be following on the podcast. And it'll be interesting to see who goes there with people like, David Warner and people like this who may be eligible to play in leagues like this and not Australian cricket. It'll be interesting to see how good a quality it keeps going, because At the moment, they've got a few of the older guys because the IPL is the predominant T20 franchise league. Be interesting to see if they pick it up to the next level in terms of the players that come in and play.
Absolutely, mate, absolutely. So we're going to keep it with Pakistan for a little while. So hot on the heels on the end of the PSL. Pakistan have named their T20 squad for the upcoming home. I emphasise that word, home 3-game series against the West Indies. It's going to be played in Karachi, and it's going to be on the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of April. So great news. We spoke about this last week, didn't we? The cricket, Pakistan PCB have made an extra payment to Cricket West Indies to remunerate the players a little bit more, to try and encourage them to come and play in Pakistan. So hopefully we see the West Indies squad soon. So on the backs of their really good performance in the PSL, Asif Ali, who we just mentioned, Hussain Talat, who we also just mentioned, and my man to watch, 17-year-old Shaheen Afridi, have all been called up. Rahat Ali and Usman Khan also come back into the squad. But missing, though, is Imad Wazim and Ruman Reyes, who both miss out, having not quite recovered from injuries yet. So just running through the squad quickly: Ahmed Shahzad, Fakhar Zaman, Babar Azam, Shoaib Malik, Asif Ali, Sarfraz Ahmed, who's captain and wicketkeeper, Hussain Talat, Fahim Ashraf, Mohammed Nawaz, Shadab Khan, Mohammed Amir, who we'll talk about in a moment, Hassan Ali, Rahat Ali, Usman Khan, and my man Shaheen Afridi. Cool. So we'll obviously follow that when it starts, which is soon. So we'll probably have the West Indies squad, but I haven't seen it yet. So we will obviously bring you that before the start of that series, or at least when it's playing. Mohammed Amir, I want to speak about him, Rob.
Yep.
He has confirmed he has discussed the possibility of cutting down on Test cricket with Pakistan head coach Mickey Arthur. Amir, he's only 25 still. It feels like he's been around forever. He's stated it's his desire to extend his Test career as the motivation behind his potential move, or at least his career. He plays all 3 formats as well as 2020 franchise and his stints in county cricket, etc. I'm going to just have my point on first. Right, odd move. He's only played 30 tests, 30 tests, since making his debut 9 years ago. He's also sat out of international cricket for 5 years after his ban as part of that spot fixing. Surely he'd be looking to make up for lost time rather than lessen his opportunity. He's missed 5 years and he's only 25. He plays a lot of cricket, sure, but surely his Test cricket deserves his attention after the embarrassment he and his colleagues made of it at the time.
Yeah, it's got to be, mate. Like, 25 years old, 5 years no cricket, 6 months in prison. Okay, so you've actually got the body of probably a 20-year-old in terms of a bowler, and surely you've got a good 10 years in front of you to go and make a name for yourself. Because just think, when he was coming through, Wasim Akram said he's the next big thing, 100%. He shone to the scene in 2009 in Pakistan, 55 wickets in their first-class season when he first got there, touching 90 mile an hour, and he was basically the next big thing in world cricket. He was quick, he was fast, he was good, he could swing it, and he could bowl the no balls. And I'm just, low blow, but deserved low blow. I find it hard to get my head around. 25 years old, I'm going to go potentially play just some white ball cricket to get money. And it can only be the only reason. All this stuff about wanting to protect his body for longevity of Test cricket is absolute BS. Is 100% go make money while you can still bowl fast. That's where I see it.
Yeah, and that's the sad thing for me. I appreciate that he was a 17-year-old young lad and he was taken advantage of to a point by a senior bowler and obviously the captain at the time. I don't even want to mention names of those guys. He still, regardless of any of that, he owes a debt to Test cricket. And for Pakistan just starting to come back onto the world stage, hopefully playing games in Pakistan again in the not too distant future, he owes a debt to Pakistan as well. He's made his mistakes, he's paid his penalty for it, but he still has to pay back. And I'm disappointed with this. And let's just emphasise, we don't want to get too far down the road. He's just saying he's discussing the possibility of cutting down on Test cricket because there is too much cricket being played. We've already spoke about this. International T20 cricket is the first thing we should scratch off the calendar and just have World Cups, in 6 months beforehand, have some warm-ups. Yeah. That would help everybody. So every country has an issue with too much cricket at the moment. The calendars, there's too much inconsequential cricket as well. So, I'm going to just make sure we just kind of disclaim it with that. But yeah, it makes me uncomfortable. And I don't like where that's coming from, maybe. So anyway, we shall see, mate.
We shall see. What's next?
Cricket World Qualifier Final. We pretty much wrapped this up again in one of our recent pods. But again, just in case you missed it, we've got Afghanistan and we've got West Indies going through to the World Cup. They were the two teams that finished 1 and 2 in the Super Sixes, and they were the two that played out the final. So Afghanistan started horrifically in this tournament. They finished strong, and they've actually beat the favoured West Indies in the final. Windies batted first. They were only held to 204, all out. Plenty players getting in, but none going on. Mujib Rahman, again in the wickets, 4 for 43, and Gulbuddin Naib, 2 for 28. In reply, Afghanistan knocked off the table with almost 10 overs to go, with man of the match, man of the moment, gif of the moment, Mohammed Shahzad top scoring with 84. Ramat Shah also hit 51. Mohammed Shahzad, Rob, I'll let you speak about him in a second, but both teams well-deserved in places in Cricket World Cup for next year. Only sad part for me is that there will not be places for the likes of Zimbabwe, Scotland or Ireland.
Mohammed Shahzad is the gif that just keeps giving. Every single day I go on Twitter, there is another gif of him playing some outrageous flick shot. Just an incredible talent. And what you want to see when you see someone playing cricket is you either want to see intensity and concentration or natural talent, or someone just having the time of their life. And this guy looks like he just loves batting. Absolutely wonderful to see. And what a great comeback for Afghanistan. In terms of the Cricket World Cup, there's probably never been a team that's lost 3 games and won a World Cup. Well, Afghanistan lost 3 games and went on to win the World Cup qualifier. So huge kudos to them. Good to see both teams there. Happy to see Afghanistan. Agreed. ICC, you are the most backward people in the world at trying to grow the global game by diminishing the World Cup and its global reach.
Totally agree. Right, so that's where we are with that. So one thing we have been talking about, or wanting to talk about for a little while, we've not quite had the opportunity, is the North v South. So we're getting really, really close to the English county summer. I'm looking out the window. It looks sunny, but it's not warm. I don't want to be playing cricket yet in this weather. So sensibly, England county cricket's starting out. They're starting out in the Caribbean. Just to get some previews going. So we've got with North v South, we mentioned it before. It was a 3-match, 1-day series aimed really to get the county season going, but also try and help England with white ball 1-day cricket as well. We'll just run through the 3 games as quick as we can. Basically, North have won. They won 2-1. They lost the first one 3-0 last season, so they came back strong. The first ODI, South, they came out on top, 63-run win. Batting first, South hit 347, all out in 49. Bulk of the wickets coming from young Lancashire quick Saqib Mahmood, who took 5 for 60 off his 8. Star man of the game, though, for the South team was England hopeful Nick Gubbins, who struck 116 off 99.
Nice.
Fellow opener, and one of my kind of tips for England cappage is Daniel Bell-Drummond. He got 52 off 53 and was part of a great opening stand of 134 with Gubbins. Middle order, everybody chipped in. Captain Sam Northeast, 23. Laurie Evans, 28. Wicketkeeper Simpson, 32. And 20-year-old, I like the sound of this guy. I need to know more about him. Bermudan-born Sussex left-hander Delray Rawlins struck 53 off 41. He sounds a bit of a talent. In reply, North were dismissed for 284. Captain and new Notts captain Steve Mullaney took scoring 57. He was, again, with plenty of people making starts. Sam Hain, 48. Joe Clark, 46. Brett D'Oliveira, 43. Wicketkeeper opener Alex Davis, 36. Plenty of starts, but no one could go on and get that match-winning score. For the South with the ball, Surrey live by Sam Curran impressed, 3 for 51. Fellow opener Paul Walter, 2 for 45. And spinner Dominic Bess, 3 for 61. Nice. I think we're going to hear, he's a 20-year-old lad. We're going to start hearing a bit more about him, I think, this year. On to the second ODI, Nick Gubbins, again, second game, second century, and second man of the match. Easy game, isn't it? North batted first, 3-3-5 for 8. D'Oliveira top scoring with 79. Joe Clark, 71. Mullaney and Alex Davis both hit 42, and young Derbyshire all-rounder Sam Critchley came in late on and smashed 64 off 37. Walter and Curran again in the wickets, 2 and 3 respectively, while Dominic Bess, that guy, another 2 wickets. So in reply, South dismissed for 289 inside 45 and fell 46 short of the target, despite Gubbins 109 off 89. Laurie Evans 64 off 67 and wicketkeeper Ollie Pope 42. Not enough for the North bowlers. Not enough, as the North bowlers just kept chipping away at the South batters. Matt Parkinson 3 for 47, Saqib Mahmood 2 for 47, and North Ant Seamer and late comer to the county and international scene at Richard Gleeson taking 2 for 65. First win from 5 attempts for the North.
Go on, the North.
Go on. Just want to mention Richard Gleeson. In a pod when we don't have a ridiculous amount of cricket, we're going to talk about him a little bit. He's a great story. Really has come late to cricket. He's a 30-year-old England Lion. He's going to be someone we talk about a bit more.
Yeah.
Third ODI, the clincher, North, 2 wins from 2 in the end to win 2-1. Man of the match performance from young Worcestershire batsman Joe Clark. The North registered 296 for 8, Clark 112 before being run out, Sam Hain 51 and Mulaney 52, consistent from Mulaney. In reply, North stayed on top from the off and held the South to 204 for 9. Great effort. Pope 68, Belgium 37. So 2-1 to the North. Fantastic bit of cricket gone on there. We did hope to get our dear friend Dave on to have a chat about it, who was over there covering it for Test Match Special, but we've not been able to do that yet. So we're hoping that we're going to get some input from him for the county preview podcast coming up. So we shall see.
Yeah, no pressure, Dave. No pressure, Dave, but it's live on air now, mate.
Yeah. We have been in touch with him this morning. I don't think we've had a response to who was his star man from the North.
Not yet. But what a tournament. This North versus South business is really good. I was saying to you offline, Rich, it actually started back in 1836, the first North versus South game, and they did it for a few years, and it's great. I love old things being new again and bringing back a bit of heritage to the game. And some of these names that you guys see here are definitely names you will see more and more as the podcast goes on into the county season. And 1 or 2 of these you're definitely going to see in England stripes at some point during the season. I like the name of Ollie Pope, not just because he's called a Pope, but wicketkeeper opener. Big fan of that. He's definitely got a bit about him.
Yeah, there's some talent there. Alex Davies, he's a batting keeper as well, and Nick Gubbins with the run. Sam Hain, he's another one that he's been awesome with white ball, but he's technically he's not been quite there with the red ball cricket. This is what his coach has said, but he's starting to come through. And I'll tell you, actually, we'll jump on now to you can tell the county season is bloody close now, Rob. It's the MCC playing against last year's winners. County Championship winners Essex over in Bridgetown. So the reason I'm jumping onto that is if we just quickly run through the scoreboard, you'll see in a minute when I was mentioning about Sam Hain. So we're only 2 days in, so just a quick brief overview. 187 first innings for Essex, 48 for Nick Brown. Few starts, nothing of any drama there. 5 for 50 for Richard Gleeson, including a hat-trick.
Nice.
Said would mention him again. Dominic Best, 2 for 57. Congrats to him as well. And another young, impressive player, Matt Fisher, 1 for 27. He's coming through as well. In response, my man, Bell Drummond, he fell short on 3, but he is captain in the MCC. So I like what England are trying to do with him at the moment. I just get a feeling we're going to see him sooner rather than later. But this is what I'm talking about. Sam Hain, an unbeaten 140 not out.
Yeah.
Off 280 balls. He's a man to keep an eye on. And also Dominic Best, he's not renowned for his batting, but he got a run a ball 107 for the MCC as well.
Nice. Did you know how else chipped in with 45?
Go on, you tell me. I know, but I want you to tell me.
Paul Collingwood getting a game.
He's still got it.
Yeah, probably player coach for the game, I'd guess. I don't know that he actually was, but great to see Collywobblers still getting a game and getting it done. Picked up a wicket, got 40-odd with the bat. He can play that.
Still got it. Still playing for Durham.
He is. Decent old cricketer.
Yeah, so we're 2 days in on that. Well, we'll obviously just, next pod we'll just tell you how that one wraps up. But we're nearly there. County cricket is on the horizon, Rob. It's nearly the English summer.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And talking about the summer seasons, it's the end of the New Zealand summer. And that means there is 1 game left of the Plunkett Shield. So the Plunkett Shield is the first-class competition that's played in New Zealand. 6 teams in the competition. And just to give you a quick rundown of the table as it stands at the moment, you've got Central Districts, unbeaten on the season. 1-6, drew 327 points. Wellington in second. 1-6, lost 2, drew 1, 123 points. And then you've got Auckland, Northern Districts, Otago and Canterbury as you kind of work your way down the order. Now, what makes it interesting is there's 1 game left of the season and 2 teams are in contention to win that. So, Central Districts have got this 4-point lead over Wellington going into the last game. Northern Districts are playing Central Districts, with Northern Districts missing their star player Ishant Sodhi, who's called up for the second test. Ish, of all the times. And he's just got those 12 wickets in the previous game. You would have thought, this is the time, bro. This is the time. But Wellington have got a tough one. They're travelling to third place Auckland. They actually play on Eden Park in the outer field. So if you saw the test match and it was showing all the little pop-up food places, yeah, that's actually a cricket wicket where the Auckland team play.
Bizarre.
Very bizarre. So they'll be playing there, and it's a difficult one for Wellington. They're just coming off a loss to the Central District team themselves. So they could have really put the title away, and now they're playing chase against a decent Auckland team who have recently just won as well. But Central District's unbeaten on the season, and they will fancy the chances. They've got a decent team. They've got Doug Bracewell coming to play county cricket. They've got Ben Wheeler, bowled a lot of wides in the T20 competition. And they've got big Jesse Ryder in the team, who's having a cracking season. Central haven't won it since 2012. Wellington, 2003. So it's going to be a big 3 or 4 days in Plunkett Shield cricket in New Zealand, coinciding with the final test match of the summer as well.
Brilliant. So, who are you calling them? They're Rob.
I'm going Central.
Tip?
Central District.
You're going Central.
I think
awesome.
Auckland's a decent team, and they will hold up Wellington from getting the amount of points they need.
Brilliant. All right, we'll obviously let you know how that went. I think we're pretty much wrapped up, mate. We've finally got caught up after all that cricket, the PSL, the Cricket World Cup qualifiers. It's been full on. It's been ridiculous. So I think we're nearly there.
We're nearly there. We're definitely nearly there. Now, at the start of the episode, I said, who's the only batsman to hit a 6 off the first ball of a test match? Who was it against and who was the bowler? Rich, what is your answer?
Are we going to announce it, or are we going to leave this till the next pod to answer?
I think we need to announce. Yeah.
All right, Brendan McCullum, that's my shout.
The answer, my friend, is Chris Gale.
Oh, bloody hell.
Who probably would have been your second guess.
Yeah.
Off Bangladeshi Sohag Ghazi back in 2012.
Okay.
There you
go.
I
would have preferred it. I bet it was a proper biff down the ground, but I would have loved it if it was some bloke jumping out of his skin on a short ball, a surprise short ball early on, and some batsman, you could almost hear him scream on the stump microphone.
That would have been perfect.
Trying to avoid one, and it actually just top edges over the keeper. But okay, Chris Gale, all right, it's not as fun.
No, not so fun, but it's interesting. I'll keep popping these in every so often just to throw you off. We don't talk about these things off air. These are just things that I'm just like, what can I throw him off with today, boys? So I'll keep thinking of things that I can throw you off with. But one of the other things that we've been doing is we've been asking people questions on Facebook. So if you're not following us on Facebook, like the other 130 people that are following us at the moment, make sure you are, because we're asking heaps of questions on there. And one of them is about who is going to win the IPL. And now we've had about 500 interactions with you guys in terms of who is going to win the IPL. And this weekend, myself and Rich are recording the IPL preview podcast. There's a hell of a lot of research. Yeah, finally. It's a hell of a lot of research gone in. Now we're T-minus 7 or 8 days from kickoff in the IPL. So we're really excited about that. If you haven't already, go to Facebook, comment on the picture of the IPL, who's going to win it, and let us know who you think will do it. But we will drop that podcast this very weekend. That's exciting.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we'll use it. We're going to tally up, like Rob said, we're going to tally up what everyone's saying, and basically that is going to be who wins it. It's scientific. We're going to see into the future, and that will be it.
Well, they've done worse. You remember the octopus in football?
Yes, I think that was probably more accurate than what we will be doing. But yeah, look, we've been saying for a while we're going to get this podcast coming out, and it's always been our intention, and we were going to do it earlier, but I'm absolutely delighted we haven't, because if we did, we wouldn't have known about Warner, we wouldn't have known about everybody else. So for anyone we kind of did say to earlier on, we're going to do it shortly. Yeah, it's probably not been shortly, but there's been so much cricket, so much going on in world cricket. IPL sometimes does have to take its place in the line.
It does.
And I think as well, doing a preview just on the eve of it is probably the way to go.
It is.
I think it fits in just right, and we're well up to date with what's going on. We'll have a chat about it. Look, we're not experts on IPL. I'm sure there's a hell of a lot of people out there that know more than we do, but we're gonna have a good chat about it, and it's going to be really interesting to watch this year.
It is. It's going to be the closest I've been to it for the last couple of years since I moved to New Zealand. So I'm quite excited. A bit like the PSL, it's getting back into some good sorts of cricket from around the world. And obviously we'll have the County Championship preview come in, and we'll be podcasting every single day for the next 5 days, barring rain, for an update on the Australia-South Africa, Australian mess, and the New Zealand-England. So there's podcasts coming out left, right and centre. It's an exciting time to be a cricket fan. And just FYI, it's an exciting time to be a subscriber of the channel on YouTube.
Absolutely. Tell your friends. Come on, share it. Share the love. Come on, get everyone involved.
Share the love. Share your love like you'd share getting a 50 and buying a jugging for the boys. But that will do it for today, guys. It's an absolutely fantastic, jam-packed episode, over an hour. Let us know your thoughts on the IPL on the Facebook page. It's bye from me.
Yeah, see ya.